life-changing history. Right, a solid mission of the visionaries. It was Dr. Anka and his colleagues' mission to accelerate technology development. Through the establishment of Institute Technology 10 November, their goodwill has encouraged ITS students to take important roles in both local and global communities. Ministers, CEOs, professors, entrepreneurs, and yes, another history maker. These successful alumni were trained in a healthy learning environment that was equipped with various supporting facilities. From vocation to marine technology, all faculties and departments of ITS were formed to be the best place to learn science, technology, and design. 7 faculties and 1 interdisciplinary school. Scientix, Faculty of Science and Data Analytics. MarTech, Faculty of Marine Technology. INSYS, Faculty of Industrial Technology and Systems Engineering. Electex, Faculty of Intelligent Electrical and Informatics Technology. CivPlan, Faculty of Civil, Planning, and Geoengineering. CreaBiz, Faculty of Creative Design and Digital Business. Vocation, Faculty of Vocation. And Interdisciplinary School of Management and Technology. Recognized as one of the top best-ranked institutes doesn't mean the finish line for ITS. To gain greater international recognition, ITS launched International Undergraduate Program. Students can get wider international exposure through 20 study programs they can apply. The chances are also open for professors from all over the world to teach and conduct research at ITS. These opportunities have made international joint research and other international activities successfully performed. Like IUP, students and lecturers from other programs have also contributed to the ITS achievements. Appreciations earned exemplify Institute's excellent performance. But technology and academic excellence is not the only goal of the Institute. Students are guided to apply their knowledge for the welfare of society. Because to note a new life-changing history, technology must advance humanity. ITS, Institute Technology 10 November.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining our event today. Researcher and Research Student Enrichment Program, or we usually call it by R2SEP. Before we start our agenda today, I will read out the important information to all attendants. First, please fill the attendance form on the provided link, which will be shared in the Zoom chat room by our committees. The link will be closed in 15 minutes. Second, please fill the feedback form, which will be shared in the Zoom chat room 15 minutes before the sessions end, and it will be closed after 1 hour. Third, the attendance and feedback are compulsory for these purposes. A. Attendance is mandatory for the new ITS master and doctoral students. B. Certificate of participation is eligible to who have 100% attendance. Participant who wish to ask questions during the Q&A session, please send your question at the provided link in the Zoom chat room, or alternatively, you may raise your hand during the Q&A sessions to ask your question directly. Welcome to the Researcher and Research Student Enrichment Program on today, Thursday, 4 May 2023. I'm Vivi from ITS Postgraduate Office, and I will be your Master of Ceremony for this session. Before we start the session, here is an opportunity announcement to join international workshop for engineers. For further information, please contact international office. Now, allow me to inform you our today's agenda as follow. For the first agenda is the opening by MC, continued by the introduction to the moderator and the speaker. After that, we will get to the main agenda, the lecture sessions, then followed by Q&A session, and it will be end with the conclusion and closing. I would like to remind you again to fill your attendance form, shared through the provided link in the Zoom chat room, which will be closed in 15 minutes from now. Before moving to the next agenda, please allow me to elaborate about today's lecture. Today's lecture theme in R2SEP is about research management skill and getting published, which will be delivered by our speaker, Associate Professor Dr. Yofei from University Science Malaysia. And the one conducting our today's session as our moderator is Ms. Santi Fresti Kauli, STMT from ITS. Let me introduce you to our moderator for today. Ms. Santi is graduate from ITS with Bachelor of Engineering in Naval Architecture and Marine Engineering and Master of Engineering in Ocean Engineering from ITB. Currently, she is a lecturer and enthusiast researcher at the Department of Ocean Engineering, ITS. Her research interests are onshore or offshore construction, safety management, and naval architecture. Without further ado, let's proceed to the main agenda. To Ms. Santi as our moderator, the time is yours.
Thank you so much, Vivi, and thank you so much for the opportunities, and thank you for having me. And I would like to introduce our speakers. Associate Professor Dr. Yofei. I'm so sorry if I pronounce it wrong. Okay, Dr. Yofei is an associate professor at School and Materials and Mineral Resources Engineering, University Sains Malaysia since 2008. And Dr. Yofei completed his doctoral study in functional material at Toyohashi University of Technology under the AUN SITNAT Scholarship. Dr. Yofei completed his master's studies in material engineering, sponsored under AUSN Special Scholarship with the Best Thesis Award. Dr. Yofei completed his bachelor's study in mechanical engineering, University Technology Malaysia. Before embarking on his academic career, Dr. Yofei was an R&D engineer in a multinational company. During 2015 to 2016, he was selected by the Ministry of Higher Education to perform his postdoctoral studies at IBM Almaden in the Silicon Valley to develop a nanomaterial. Dr. Yofei is also a Blue Ocean Strategy Consultant appointed by Ministry of Higher Education and Director of University in USA. His research focus on industrial or agricultural waste, conversion or reutilization, and nanoporous materials development for biomedical and environmental applications. Dr. Yofei has completed more than 20 international and 25 national research, published more than 100 papers, including more than 50 conference papers and book chapters as a first author, primarily in Q1 or Q2 journals, and delivered numerous presentations at various national and international conferences, such as this time. So, please welcome Dr. Yofei.
Sorry. Okay, thank you, Ms. Santi. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, please allow me to share my slides. Okay. Okay, so I believe that you guys can see my slide, right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, first of all, thank you very much, Ms. Santi, for the introduction, and also the IDS for organizing this session. Okay, so I was entrusted to conduct this session. Okay, by the way, just a little bit introduction about myself. Just now, Ms. Santi already introduced. So you guys can call me Fei or Dr. Fei. Doesn't matter. I come from University of Science Malaysia. I'm not so sure because this is a very big crowd. I saw that it's 200 over people. Some people might have attended my session because I've already conducted. Today is my 4th session in 2 days. So I'm not sure if some of you have attended my session yesterday. But I think most of you haven't attended. So I would like to introduce a little bit about the university before I proceed with the topics. Okay. So, so for those who attended my previous session and listen to the same introduction, please bear with me. Okay, we'll come to the topic soon. Okay, so okay, I come from University of Science Malaysia. So University of Science Malaysia is located in Penang. Okay, let me. Okay, here, hold on. Okay, so University of Science Malaysia is located in Penang over here, and then it is about 3 to 4 hours flight away from Surabaya. Okay, so now there's a direct flight, so it's actually very convenient to fly from Penang to Surabaya. So, and actually there's a lot of people also work in the factories in Penang as well. So we have a lot of Surabaya people also in Penang. Okay, so hold on. I'm sorry, I'm not very familiar with Zoom. Usually back in USM, we use more on the WebEx. Okay, so I need to get familiar with Zoom. Okay, clear all drawing. Okay, so some basic information about Malaysia. So currently Malaysia has 32 million people, okay, living, where 7.6 million living in greater KL area. 2 million live in Penang and another 2 million live in JB. The GDP per capita, our income is about 33,000 ringgit per year, US dollar per year. So that translates to about 100,000 ringgit per year. But bear in mind one thing, not everyone earns that much. It's probably not me as one of them. And okay, so this is Malaysia. As you can see from the pictures here, Malaysia is somewhat very similar to Indonesia, but at a very much smaller scale. So the country is small, okay, the population is small compared to Indonesia, but the rest are actually quite identical. We have like very nice beaches, where we have very nice sea, okay, and a lot of ethnic groups in Malaysia. The main ethnic groups are the Malay, Chinese, and Indians. Okay. So this is where we are located. The university is located in the Penang state. So there are two parts of Penang state. One is on the Penang Island. Another one is the mainland. So, and then we have several campuses spreading in different parts of Penang. And once you arrive here in Penang, this is the first thing that you're going to see. Okay, if you come by airport, so the airport is located somewhere around here, very close to the campus. And we have two main bridges connect the island to the mainland. And then somewhere nearby the campus also, we have a very big industrial area. It's called Bayan Lepas Industrial Area. On the northern side here, we have very nice beaches. So this is the resort place. And also at the west part, on top here is the Georgetown, where we have a lot of World Heritage buildings. So if you're visiting Penang for your academic studies and or for your academic activities, don't forget to also visit all these different tourism spots as well, because Penang is actually a very good tourism, a very famous tourism spots as well. Okay, so next, hold on. Okay. Okay, so of course, we have a lot of different ethnic groups, and then one of them is actually Chinese and also Malay. So in the ancient time when the Chinese came here, they got married with the local Malay, and they give birth to this a special group we call Baba and Nyonya, where this is an ethnic group with very special cultural mix between Malay and Chinese. So they speak Malay, but they speak Malay, and the food is actually a hybrid food between the Chinese and the Malay food, and the culture is also somewhat as a mix, but they are not Muslim, as opposed to the majority Malay community. But now this Baba and Nyonya community is getting lesser and lesser. So if you have chance to visit Penang and Malacca, please do visit them, their museum and also their culture as well, especially the food. Okay, and this is our campus. Okay, so basically this is the Penang Bridge to connect to the mainland. Okay, over here, this is the Penang Bridge, and then this is where the green color, hold on. Okay, let me show it. The green circle here is where our campus is located in. And then here is the Bayan Lepas Industrial Area. So our student graduated from the university who usually work somewhere around here. We have a lot of industrial parks and a lot of multinational companies. So many students actually work in all these companies. So we in Malaysia, actually employment is not really an issue for USM, but probably for some other university, they are meeting some challenges. Okay, and from here you can see this photo. Okay, we have a very beautiful campus. Okay. And this is, of course, a poster. But if for the real one, probably you need to come here and make sure by yourself whether is it the real one. Okay. And then, hold on. Next. Okay. So, okay. So a basic statistic about the university. Right now, we are every year we have anytime 35,000 students. Okay, where 22 students are undergraduate, 12,000 are postgraduate. Our university is established since 1969, so now we have 50 over years of history. It's the second oldest university after University Malaya. We are the first and the only Apex university with the funding given by the central government to help us to accelerate our programs to make it to be the world-class university. And also we are one of the 5 research university in Malaysia. Okay, currently we have 30,000 students and 10,000 staff, and also 50 plus schools, and PTJ is actually the departments. Okay. Next. Okay. So basically now we are ranked at number 4 in the global impact ranking of Times Higher Education, and also ranked number 143 for the worldwide QS ranking. We currently, up to now, we have 183,000 graduate students, and the ratio academic staff to the what do you call that, to the student ratio is 1 to 14.6. Okay, that's a requirement for us to achieve certain ratios actually required by the ministry. So we have to follow this ratio very tightly. Okay, so our ratio is much lower compared to other public universities. Okay, in the national level. Okay, next. Okay, so this is a picture of one of our convocation back then. So it looks like this, and we have 4 medical schools, the health medical sciences, dental sciences, pharmaceutical sciences, health sciences. Okay, so there are 4 medical schools. Some of them are in the Kelantan state at the East Coast. And then we have 4 different sciences: chemical, biology, physics, and mathematical sciences, and also 6 engineering school. I belongs to the School of Materials and Mineral Resources Engineering. And there are 5 other schools, 5 other engineering school: civil engineering, mechanical, EE, aerospace, and chemical engineering. And other than that, we have a lot of research center, and these are the 2 of them, the top research center here. And also we have a lot of different other schools from the arts as well. Okay, so I think probably that's good enough for the introduction about the university. Next, let's move to the research management skills. So before you start, I believe some of you, most of you are graduate students, right? Where you are starting on your research. So probably before you start your research, there are a few things that I think maybe that you need to ask yourself whether your research is feasible. Is your research feasible? Is it desirable? And is it benefiting? Okay, who is it benefiting? Okay, so these are the things that I think that will provide you more motivation in doing research. So you need to ask yourself, okay, these 3 questions before you start your research, so that this is where you can get your motivation. And according to the conventional, of course, research model, you can start with the idea. Okay, you can start with the idea, and then from there you develop the hypothesis. Okay, then from there you continue your research and you produce papers. Okay, and then for what do you call that, a researcher, of course you can hire a few PhD students and then divide the projects according to their needs. Okay, and then produce different research projects. Okay, so but hold on. Okay. Okay, but innovations actually takes a very different approach, where we always, because as an academic staff now, I also understood from my colleagues here from ETS, where previously it was more relaxed here in this in Indonesia, but now you guys are also facing the same pressure from the government to drive the innovation, to drive the research. So, but for the innovation, actually, it's very different. Okay, where we start from many we study about many academic research. Okay, out of the many academic research, we choose whichever that are relevant to us and plan it into more relevant academic projects that we chose. Okay, and then from there you can develop the prototypes according to the fundamental research that you have studied. Okay, you get some results, some useful result, and then after that you develop, based on the research result, you develop the prototypes based on the idea and the result that you get. And then after that, through the market feedback, you improve the prototype further and make the prototype into the products. So this is the innovation cycles. Okay, conventional innovation cycles. Okay, and but however, in today's world, the conventional innovation cycles is no longer enough. So we in order to stay more competitive in this innovation world, it would be more feasible to actually for us to practice this open innovation concept or open innovation funnel, where you can choose whichever technology base, okay, from internal or external source. Okay, you can choose from internal or external source. Internal means that within your own organization, okay, based on your own technology platform that you have, you choose the suitable technology platform, and then from there you develop more innovation from there. Or you can also work with external technology base, for example, with another institution, another company, if they have anything, any technology that is suitable for you to use. And then from there, you choose this technology platform and technology from any sources that's suitable to use. And then after that, in conventional funnel, it goes all the way into here, all using your own internal resources. But in open innovation platform, basically open innovation funnel, you can use any source or any resources that is suitable for you, and it doesn't have to end here. you do not really have to commercialize by yourself, but instead you can actually work with external parties to actually commercialize it to the end of the journey. You can either halfway getting the technology, okay, develop the technology, you out license it, you license it to other companies which has the market. Okay, in this case, you do not have to do the marketing by yourself. As a researcher, we ourselves actually, we could be good in the research, but may not be so good at the marketing. Okay, in marketing, you are speaking a different language. Okay, or you can also create, okay, further develop, and you need more effort in this. You can also create technology spin-off. I'm not sure in Indonesia whether the lecturer or the researcher, you guys are allowed to have your own companies or not, to create your own spin-off or not. Okay. But in Malaysia, of course, they are encouraging it, but policy-wise, it's actually not that synchronized yet. Okay. So other than that, okay, of course, you can bring this thing all the way out to the market by yourself. Okay, to reach out to the current market, or maybe to work with somebody else to reach out to the new market. Okay. And along the way, you may need a lot of different technology to be suited to your own technologies. You need to include other technology into your technology as well. So that depends. That's why in this case, we would say that open innovation funnels is actually more, efficient compared to the conventional ones. Okay. And of course, you can merge them. You can merge these two, okay, from the research, you merge you merge with the innovation to actually give us the best impact through the from the research. You can get the research, and at the same time you get the innovation at the same time. However, of course, this is not easy. There's always a gap here in between, as you can see, and the gap sometimes could be quite huge here. This gap could be quite big here. Okay, so hold on, let me see. Okay, so in this case, it requires us as a researchers, even your PhD student, your master student, it requires us to think out of the box, okay, so that we can get the best out of it. Okay. Hey, so of course, it requires us to be very creative in terms of solving the problems. Okay, if you need to carry a big bell like this, a very big bell like this, which need 4 persons to carry it. Okay, so how do you do it with 1 person? Let's think about it. Can you do it alone? Okay, or actually we cannot. Okay, so let's think about it. Or maybe we can do it this way. So this is a creative way to solve the same problem, right? Okay, so we can put another wheel here, okay, to pivot this wheel here, okay, so that we can move the bell, the big bell. In this case, you do not need 4 persons to do it. Okay, you just need only 1 person to do it. Okay, wouldn't that be easier? But of course, in this case, you need to think out of the box. You cannot stay inside the box and keep on thinking and thinking. You have to think out of the box. And of course, it is not easy to think out of the box. Okay, so for another example, okay, what is the fastest way, okay, to actually go from this entrance, with the right angle, okay, to the heart here. Okay, what's the fastest way? Okay, do you think like this? First of all, okay, you go like this. Okay, you go like this, and then you go like this, and then where is it? I also don't know. Oh, here, and then you go all the way until you find all the way here, or probably you can go backwards here. Okay, so what's the best way for you to do it? Okay, so probably one of the best answer that we could do it, because the question is what is the fastest way? Okay, so one of the best way to actually do this probably is through outside. Okay, so of course, in order for us to develop this kind of mindset, you need to think out of the box. And how do we think out of the box? This is where I think that actually it does actually do quite well, where you actually emphasize a lot on the industry and community engagement. And this is also what emphasized by Malaysian government as well. Our Malaysian government actually encourage us to have this quadruple helix collaboration, where the academic works with the industry, okay, to provide solutions to help the citizens or the community, okay, with the help from the government. The government will be giving the necessary resources, for example, funding, to solve the problem of the community, okay, or the citizen, through the help of the industry and the initiative of the academia. So nowadays, it's not easy. It's no longer easy to actually be an academic staff in the university, because first of all, you have to teach the students. After that, you have to do the research. You have to apply for funding. You have to read a lot of papers. You need to generate research idea. You need to supervise students. You need to write papers. And now you need to work with the industry. You need to help the community. So for those who want to become an academic staff, probably you need to think twice. Okay. So, okay. Next. Okay. So the best idea is usually the idea or the best idea or the innovation, okay, is actually the idea which resolves the contradiction or paradox. So what's paradox? For example, do we have chicken first or do we have eggs first? Okay, so this is one of the greatest paradox, okay, in the world, okay. Or another more practical, okay, paradox is, if the country want to have EV, okay, want to push EV, do you produce more EV first, or do you produce more charging station first? Because without charging station, okay, without many charging station, people won't be buying the EV, correct or not? The electric vehicle. Without the EV, without enough volume of EV, without enough quantity of EV running on the road, people won't be building the charging station, right? So this is one of the greatest paradox as well. Okay, so it requires us to be very innovative to think of the solution. Okay, and of course, okay, this is a research canvas where most of the researchers, they use this research canvas to actually start their research. Of course, first of all, okay, after you have already confirmed, sorry, please allow me to drink some water first. Because this is a third lecture of today, actually. So it was a non-stop lecture. So that's why I was having some, some voice issue. Okay, so please excuse me for that. Okay, sometimes from time to time I need to drink some water. So once you get your research motivation, okay, from the 3 questions just now, okay, next you need to first find the problem. Okay, so you need to identify what is your problem. Okay, what is the problem statement? Okay, is your problem statement valid, or is just merely what you think? You need to solve the real problem. Okay, so you need to confirm that this problem statement validates. This problem is really problem for your target audience. Okay, for example, okay, smart farming, smart poultry farming. Let's say if you have a chicken farm, okay, so if you develop a technology for the chicken farm, so the technology, is it really solving the problem of the farmers, or just solving the problem, your problem only? Okay, so you need to make sure that this problem statement validates where it's a real problem faced by your target audience, so that they can be benefited from the research that you are doing. Okay, next is what is your research purpose? What is the objective of your research? So in this case, you need to know what do you want, okay, in order to solve the problem. Okay, so what do you need to do in order to solve the problem? The third one, you may need to ask a few questions, okay, to get more detail into your research problem, okay, into your research objective. And probably you may not be having all the answers now. So in this case, you need to make some assumption. You need to get some hypothesis, okay, based on certain assumptions that you are making. Okay, it may not be 100% correct, but at least it provides you with some alternative, with some directions for you to go forward from. Okay, and after based on all this, the groundwork that we have done, now you can develop a concept, okay, conceptual framework or a theoretical framework, okay, for you to start to do your work from. Okay, and then after that, after you have the roadmap, your research roadmap based on this conceptual framework, which concept that you should be following, which theory that you should be following. Now you need to do further work, to do more literature review. You need to read more papers. You need to go for more literatures, what other works that people have done, using this theoretical framework that you have followed, okay? You have decided to follow, and now you can develop the overall approach, including now you know already what people have done. So what you should be focusing in, those work that people have done, you do not have to repeat it. You want to avoid it, or you just refer to their work, will do. Okay. From here, you can avoid redundant work. Don't reinvent the wheel. And then you can, from the literature review, you can actually decide the further directions. Okay. And then from here, you can develop the overall approach and start the data collections. Okay. After you collect the data, okay, the data collection, of course, is also a step, a very important step, okay, for you to collect the data. So based on the methodology that you have developed, and then from there, you get the data and you analyze the data, okay, and get the result based on the data that you analyze. Now you can draw the conclusion. So that is basically a complete journey, okay, a complete journey of this research. Okay. Next. Okay, so of course, the whole research journey basically involve a lot of different different steps. First, you must decide a topic, okay, or the topic is given to you. In this case, you must find the motivation. What is given to you, okay, the topic given to you, and then you must find the motivation why you want to do that. And after that, you must find the information, okay, and then after that, how you record the information is also very important. You need to record it in a very systematic way so that it's easier for us to find back. And then based on all the information, you select the best information, which help us to draw the conclusion and how you present the information based on what you selected. Okay, we may not be using all the informations that we collected from the data, but you only choose the best information only. Okay. And otherwise, you need to re-evaluate the process, whether the process makes sense or not. And based on this, actually, there are several research skills that probably you will need to develop along the way. Okay, so for example, for example, this category, we call it critical thinking, where it involves imaginations and creativity. Okay, so in this case, you need to be more creative to solve the problem, to target the research problem. Okay. And you need some imaginations, because sometimes you may not be getting all the information, you may not be getting all the data that you need. You may not have the resources to visit the farmers. They don't give you the access, for example. Okay, so in this case, it depends on your imagination. Okay, what is the problem and how to solve the problem. And of course, you guys are trained with logics and reasoning, so this part usually shouldn't be an issue. And for the master postgraduate studies, it's also part of journeys for you to train your logic and reasoning, okay, and also conceptualize your thinking, okay, develop the framework, conceptualize the thinking, and how to get the reflection and the feedback to improve the research. Okay, the next skill will be of course, the problem solving. How you solve the problem. Some of the skill may be not redundant, but actually overlaps. Okay, you can see here, these are the overlapping skills that you may need. Okay, for problem solving. Okay, you need to collect the data. Okay, and also develop the conceptual thinking. Okay, and probably some scientific experiment. So you want to solve the problem, how you develop the experiment, how you develop the methodology. Okay, and after that, analysis, okay, how you collect the data, how you analyze the data. So back in University Science Malaysia, in my university, usually we have a lot of workshops. I believe ETS also have the same workshops to train you guys how to analyze, how to collect the data, how to develop your methodology, and how to, how to analyze data. Now, these are actually essential skills. Nowadays, being a student is relatively easier compared to our time. During our time, we do not have so much support. During our time, it depends on yourself and your supervisor, how they guide you. But nowadays, it's much easier for you guys. So I believe that you guys can do better compared to us. Okay. By the way, Nas, until what time is this seminar? 4:30, is it? Okay, sorry, I'm checking the time because I'm afraid that I spent too much of time. Okay, and of course, to complete the whole cycle, another important step is actually dissemination of the knowledge. Okay, how do you present the data and share it with the community people? 5 o'clock. Okay. 5 o'clock. 12 minutes. Now it's 4:12, right?
12 minutes and then Q&A.
Oh, 12 minutes and then Q&A. Okay. Thank you. Oh, so we have to go. Okay, so it's okay. We have to go very fast. Sorry. Okay. So okay. So decide what to do, what research to do is actually very important. Okay. So let me clean up the annotation. Okay. So what are you going to research? Okay. So what topic is given to you? Okay. Usually, of course, you do a topic that's given to you by your supervisor. You choose a supervisor because you trust that the supervisor can guide you throughout the whole research journey. Okay. But you need to find out for yourself. Okay. Why does it give you this topic? Okay. What interests you most? Okay. What has the most information? Where can you find all this information? And what you yourself would like to know? Okay. Because if you are not interested in your own research topic, then who else can be more passionate than you guys? Okay. So if possible, if needed, then you need to make up the focusing question that will allow you to find out the information as much as possible. Okay. Okay. So next is about the research data management. So of course, next you need to define what's the research data that you need. Okay, and the importance of the research data management, because along the way you will be collecting a lot of data. Okay, so when you collect a lot of data, sometimes you yourself also get confused. Which one is the important data, which one is not, and then which one comes first, which one is more reliable. So the data management becomes very important. And what's the key concept of the data management? Okay. Okay. So how to find the best data information on the data? Of course, nowadays is very convenient for you guys to do research. Okay, because previously during my time, okay, we started to have this Science Direct. Okay, so that was the beginning. Okay, and then but even before that, people, if they would need to read some journals, they will have to write they have to write to the author. They write an email to the author. Otherwise, they have to ask their library to subscribe for the paper for the journal. Okay, so but nowadays it's very easy. Last time you don't have such luxury. Okay, that's why the research progressed very slow last time. Now it's much easier. You just use your computer. You go to the internet. You Google it. Okay, so that's why sometimes we call it Professor Google. Google knows everything. Okay. And then probably you can go to Google Scholar, okay, to find some journals. Some you get it for free, some you don't, okay. And also probably Scopus, okay. Sorry, there's a mistake in the typing. Science Direct is also one of the best source that you can find reliable research information. But of course, not every research is reliable. So that's why your critical thinking is very important. Some people may just write some rubbish, or probably not really important information. They release important information they don't release. Okay. Or some also Wikipedia, but be careful with Wikipedia because the citation is very important. Because some people, anyone can just edit the Wikipedia very easily. So that's why if you're not careful, you're not knowledgeable enough, then probably you may get the wrong information from Wikipedia. And of course, you can go to the university library or the librarians asking for their help to actually help you to find the references that you need. If the university library still don't have it, you can go to the National Library. Okay, they should have it. For information, I graduated from Japan, and all the PhD graduate in Japan, actually, their thesis, their PhD thesis are stored in they call it Parliamentary Library. So that's also one of the best source of the literature review. Okay, so other than Google, now you can also even use YouTube to find the videos. Okay, this is also one of the easiest way to find information or the data. Okay, through YouTube. and video. Sometimes I also use this in my class where I ask my students, okay, to actually do the project, making a prototype using YouTube, okay, find a video which is related and relevant, and then based on whatever is taught by the YouTube videos, so you build a prototype, okay. So this is one of the useful sources, but the thing is, not all the videos from YouTube are true. YouTube is mainly for entertainment, okay, mainly for entertainment. There are some education elements, but not all, okay. So you can also find out from different people, like your own teachers, some government officials which are holding to the data, some experts which they have done similar work before. You can find out from the industry, you can find out from community. For example, what are the work that have been done by the industry, what are the present technology, and what are the problems faced by the community. Okay, so if you want to solve the problem, probably these are the some of the sources that probably will be helping us to find the information. Okay. Okay. Okay, hold on. Okay. So of course, okay. Okay. So do you think by managing the data, okay, this is not important, but because we are lacking of time, so probably I will jump a bit to go into something that's more important. Okay. So next is to record the information. Okay. So how do you keep records for the information that you find? Do you do like dots and jot notes to actually summarizing the information? But this is not copying. Don't copy. Okay. Because copying doesn't mean that you understand. Okay. You just plug some statement from the journal papers, and then actually you don't fully understand it. Okay. So it's better to actually summarize. Okay. To summarize the meanings of the information, put it into your own words. Okay. When you put it into your own words, actually you understand what is actually stated by the authors. Okay. Did somebody say something? And am I exceeding my time? Is it okay to continue? Okay. So next, how do you record the data? For example, do you photocopy it and keep it? Okay. Because some of the data, if it is produced from, this, like the receipt, when you get the receipt, the printing on the receipt may get faded, right? So after a year, probably you may not be. Yeah. Pardon me? Is it? Okay. So, okay. Because some papers may be faded after you printing, after certain period of printing. Then in this case, probably it's better for you to photocopy, keep a copy for yourself, or you scan it, okay, using OCR and make it into what do you call that? Make it into a text file, okay? So it's easier for you to process in the future. And one of the important thing is actually Google Drive, or probably some cloud storage, okay? Because you see, you spend probably for your master, you spend 2 to 3 years to do your projects, to collect the data. For the PhD, 3 to 4 years, okay? So you collect all this data in your computers, and one day you find the computer is broken. So what are you going to do? Okay, so now in this internet era, it's very, very easy. You just open a Google Drive, okay, create a Google email, Gmail, and then open a Google Drive. It's free, okay, or maybe Microsoft also have its version, OneDrive, or Dropbox is all free. You can keep the data, you can keep all this information, the literature, even the literature, everything in your cloud, and you can retrieve it anytime. Anytime, even your computer is broken, it's still okay. Not like during my time when I did my PhD, when I did my master, we do not have Google Drive. Okay, you cannot imagine that time how we did our research. We have only pen drive. Pen drive is also very new, was also very new during that time. Before the pen drive, we use only, 3.5-inch diskette. The storage is only 1.44 megabyte. So you need to use a lot of diskettes, very, very small pieces of diskettes. Okay. So in this case, I would suggest you now you have the technology, you use Google Drive, you use cloud to store it. Otherwise, you may need to spend another 3 years for your studies. Do you want to do that? Okay. So you decide better, probably. Okay. Okay. So, and of course, another thing is the references of and also the bibliography. Okay, what format are you going to use? Okay, so basically, these are the important points that probably that you need to take note. Okay, and due to the time, probably I won't be going very detailed because we a bit last. Are you sure? Until 5 o'clock, but now it's only 4:30. So the Q&A is 30 minutes. Uh-huh. 45 or 40. Okay. Okay, so I'll continue with the lecture. Okay. So of course you want to select the best information. Not all the informations are very helpful. Okay. So in this case, you want to choose the information which is the data which is more relevant to your studies, more relevant to your research. Okay. So you may want to choose only the relevant data. Okay. So first, of course, in this case, you need to assemble your information to help you to answer the previous research question that you developed. Okay. So that's why you have all these research questions actually to guide yourself, okay, to find the data. If the data answer the question or the data doesn't answer the question, if it doesn't, then probably you need to continue the effort to look for the information, to find the information. And then once you get the information which answer the question, there may be one or more answers that are the info that answers the questions. So in this case, you choose the best one, which info actually best answer the question. So after that, using the information, you can solve the problem. And is this the best solution? Can you do better to solve the problem? If not better, then can you go back to find more information and get better information? Okay. And also choose the best materials to answer the question. Okay. And after that, based on whatever that you have done just now, you can use this as the basis to present your research. And the presentation of the research is also very important because this is the method or the approach or dissemination of knowledge. Okay. So in this case, your presentation style, your presentation format, and also skills become very important for you to share the knowledge with the community. Okay, even if it is a scientific community, if it is normal common communities. Okay, so that is also very important. And of course, presenting the data also, you have the skills. So what is the best way to present your data? Different data, of course, will have different way to best present it. Some data, you can write a paragraph of text to present it. Some data, if you can compare it in the table, it will be clearer to the for your audience. Or is it better to use a graph? A graph also, there are a lot of different types of graph. You can have a pie chart. You can have what do you call that? You can have a line graph. You can have what do you call that? Bar chart. Okay, so what is the best way to actually present it? Okay, you have to decide for yourself. Okay, and maybe if you want to present it in paragraph of text, or you want to show it as a photograph, as an image. Okay, so usually for myself, I would choose more images to be presented because I think a picture represents 1,000 words. So it's easier for people to understand with their own eyes what are the data that we want to show using a photo. Okay, and nowadays with this the development of the internet, we can also share our information with videos. Okay, so for example, today in our earlier lecture for the undergraduates, actually some of the presentation about my projects, I show it in video. And video is very useful because it compresses the whole research into a 5 minutes video. So you using the 5 minutes video, you do not have to bring your audience on site, and you can show them how your research works. And that is actually a very powerful presentation method. Okay, of course, formal sharing of knowledge still for scientific world, we still through the journal papers. Okay. Okay. And how you want to present it? Okay. Do you have any established or specific format? If you follow the journal, of course, you have to follow their specific format. Can you choose what type of publications that you want to share? Would it be a normal essay that you can share on the newspapers or magazine, or you want to share just one column in the magazine, or maybe a formal journals, okay, scientific journals, or probably you just want to make it in a video and share it in YouTube, or maybe just a PowerPoint where you can upload it to, LinkedIn, or maybe you can create a website, okay, for yourself, okay, for to share your research, okay. So all this actually require you to think twice and how you want to share it the best and who you want to share it to, okay, and what's the objective of the sharing. For information, in Malaysia now, our government start to ask us to share the information about our research in terms using the video nowadays, okay. So it's an easier way of reporting. They don't have to come all the time. You just show the video, and then they can, based on the video, they will judge, okay. Okay, so of course next is to evaluate the research, okay. So now, of course, everyone wants an easy life, okay. So in this case, probably we go very easy with our own research, but have you actually critically evaluate the way you did the research, okay? Is it critical enough whether your research is the thinking about the topic is critically researched before, okay? So now, do you plan your times wisely? You have probably, for example, myself, I have only 3 years to finish my PhD, okay? So in this case, because the scholarships only supported me for 3 years. So if exceed 3 years, then I have to pay for myself. I have to pay the air flight. I have to pay for the accommodations in Japan, very expensive. The food also very expensive. You need to pay extra for the fees. So nobody is going to pay that for me. So in this case, I have to plan my time very, very carefully to finish the research within 3 years. So have you thought about that? Have you thought that how long do you need to spend on the research planning, on the materials purchasing, on the methodology development, on the literature review? Okay, how long you want to take to do the literature review, and how long until you can start your experiment, and how long the experiment is needed. For example, if you're doing material research, okay, or mechanical research, one of the research is called creeping, okay. So for this creeping, for one experiment, it may take very, very long. For example, it may take 3 months, okay. So within these 3 months, what are you going to do? Are you going to just wait for the 3 months, or are you going to travel one whole Southeast Asia and come back after 3 months? Okay. What I knew is one of my, friends of my former supervisor, actually they did their research in UK, okay, United Kingdom, Britain, the Great Britain, and then the experiment is really creeping, okay. So what he did was he set up the experiment, okay, and then after that he went traveling the whole Europe, okay, and then come back after 3 months, okay, and then he set another experiment, and then he traveled again, okay. It's a very efficient time of setting up your research, okay, because you make use of the time you travel, you don't waste your time. But I don't think he can finish within 3 years, okay. So in this case, wouldn't it be wise, actually, if you plan your time better, you go and search for a few more similar machines, and you set up the machines together. So after you come back, at least you have 3 results, 4 results, okay. Or probably, is there any other resources that you can use, okay, other than your own supervisors? Can you ask other lecturers, other teachers, okay, to share their information with you, to share their knowledge with you, okay? What is the best ways to present the information? Okay, just now we talked about a lot of mediums. You can present it, okay? You can present it in PowerPoint, video, in essays, whatever, okay? And is it the best way? Or probably conference is also the best way to present the information, to share information, the research information with your peers, okay? And at the same time, you can get to know your friends from the conferences. You join the conference, you get to know the people there. And sometimes, you know what? People do not share the best results online in their papers. They keep it, and I knew it, especially my Chinese friends, okay, from China. Usually the best result, they keep it for themselves to develop the patent, the intellectual properties. They only publish those results which are not so good, okay, not the best result. Good, but not the best, okay. So, but if you know them personally, then probably you can get better information from them, okay. And also, did you always check with your supervisors to make sure that you are on track. This is also something that is very critical. You know that actually postgraduate journey is not a journey. Sometimes you lost motivation. Okay. Sometimes, you know, a lot of people drop out halfway of their master or PhD just because they lost track with their progress. So in this case, your supervisor become very important. Be proactive to check with your supervisor to see whether you have done something wrong, you're on track, you're on the right directions. The direction is very important. Your supervisor is a seasoned, is a very knowledgeable seniors who can help you to go through this journey. Okay, and what has helped you or hinder your progress. Okay, something that you can progress because you don't have the money to buy the chemical, you don't have the time, okay, you cannot travel, you don't have the equipment, the chemical is not available in your country, okay, you don't have the supercomputer, okay, to help you to run through the simulations or whatever. Okay, in this case, how do you want to overcome all these hindrances? You need to identify and help and also overcome all these problems. Okay, so very typical problems actually probably we don't have the time to share that, so probably next time I'll share this next. Okay, so what define an expert? Okay, what define an expert? Basically, we have this 10,000 hours rules. Okay, 10,000 hours rule, which means that for the same thing, if you do again and again, after 10,000 you become the expert in this field. Same thing goes to master and PhD. You are the one who is doing the same thing over and again. Okay, so you will become the expert. We academic as a supervisor could not be better than you in your own projects. We could guide you at the right time. We give you the good advices, but you are the best person who know your own research the best. For example, what makes a musician? In this case, if you practice music for 4,000 hours, it can make you a music teacher, but it cannot make you into a good musician. A good musician, you need 8,000 hours of practice, but a great musicians need 10,000 hours of practice. Okay, you can divide it over 10 years. You become an expert in 10 years. Okay. Oh, done. Okay. So next. Okay, sorry. Okay, so this calculation is very important. Why 10,000 hours rules is very important for us? Because it takes approximately 10,000 to become or to master a skill or an area of research. It does go through this calculation. For example, if every day you spend 3 hours to practice, okay, to do the same thing, you will require 10 years to achieve 10,000 hours. Okay, you require 10 years to achieve 10,000. Okay, but if every day you spend 8 hours, you need only 5 years, okay, to become an expert in your field. So in this case, okay, if you spend 10 to 12 hours a day, you need only probably 3 to 4 years. Okay, so now it's your choice. Okay, you want to finish your PhD in 10 years or in 5 years or just 3 to 4 years. If you choose to finish within 3 to 4 years, now you know what is the price to pay for. Okay, you need to spend 10 to 12 hours a day, okay, to actually finish your PhD, because by right, your PhD, if you are the PhD in the field, then you have to spend you are the expert in the field. In this case, you may need to spend 10,000 hours. Okay, so 10,000 hours, that's a guaranteed success. If below that, okay, that's still 50%. Okay, so in this case, if we want to ensure a guaranteed success, 10,000 experiment, 10,000 hours, those are the rules. Okay. Okay, so basically, I think that actually I'm given 2 topics. Okay, so I'm given 2 topics. One is the research management. Okay, one is the what do you call that, the publications. So I will finish the slide for the research management. okay, here, and I let you choose whether you want to ask question or shall we proceed with the publications, okay? So now you have become the expert. Next, you'll become more senior as your journey goes on, okay? And this slide actually is more important for those when you become more senior in this field, you need to manage your own research group, okay? These are the competency that you may need to have. First of all, do you have the vision? You need to have the vision to lead your own research team, okay? The strategic vision to reach, to lead your teams into the right research directions. Or what is the insight? You need to have the insights into the real problem, okay, that you have. And after that, you also need to buy into the organization's vision. For example, Sustainable Development Goal is the organization vision of USM and also for ITS. So in this case, does your research direction, okay, align with the vision? If it is aligned to the vision of the organization, in this case, you'll be getting a lot of support. If it is not, then you must make sure that you have the support that you need, okay? And then, do you have enough engagement with the stakeholders, probably the industry and also the community, to be able to jump out of the box? And do you get enough inspiration from them? And what about the communications? Do you communicate enough? Are you in the right communication channel with the stakeholders? And then now, do you have you spent enough effort to develop the human capital? For example, if you are the professors, do you develop your lecturers enough, your associate professor enough, so that they could help you to actually achieve the research goal? So do you have enough courage to actually drive the change and also to drive the innovation? Do you spend enough effort in the deep thinking, and do you manage the performance? So these are all the very important competency in the research management, okay, once you evolve to the higher level, okay? So basically with this, I would like to end my topics for this research management, okay? Next is about getting published. So far, do you guys have any question that you need to ask? So far, okay? So shall we continue, or do you want to ask some question first?
You can continue. We have a question and answer session in the end of session.
Okay, great. Thank you. So next, okay, let's talk about publish, of course. Okay, I think this is also quite a trivial a scenario. Okay, in the past, okay, when I started doing my research, back then publication was not very critical. Okay, we were not very critical on the publication. That's why we enjoy our research life a lot. We did whatever we like. We don't really care about the time because we are not rushed to publish back then. Okay, but today publications has become a measurement whether a researcher is good or not. Okay, publishing the research result has become an integral part of an researcher's professional life. Without as some say, without publication, science is dead. Okay, so that's why publication is very important nowadays. Okay, so but why do we write and publish the research papers? As we compare, okay, we are different in the academic research. Basically, our objective is to share the knowledge, okay, so that a human being as a species, okay, as a community can progress, okay. But and what is the best way to actually share this knowledge is actually, of course, through these research papers. Okay, ideally, research papers is actually a platform for us to share our research findings and also discovery, okay, with the hope of improving the standard of living for the people, for human being, okay, manusia sejagat, okay. So this is ideal, okay, but practically, okay, we, of course, when we tell outside, we are scientists, we cannot be talking about money because we are not a noble species. We are the hope of the human being. Okay. So we are doing everything not for money, but for the future of human being, right? Okay. Okay. So we are very noble. Okay. So that we maintain. Okay. So people think that scientists, researchers, you guys are very good people. So you don't have to draw salary. You do it for the human being, for the sake of human being. Okay. But in reality, not right. We still need the salary to live. We still need to get the research funding to continue do the research. And of course, in the academic journey, you want to get promoted. Okay, for those just started doing your research, you're getting your master and PhD. After that, you want to get your job. Okay, and you also, for those who already get a job, you want to keep your job. You don't want the university to kick you out, right? So in this case, research paper has become a measurement. Okay, how good you are as a researcher. So they use the research paper to judge whether they want to give you the funding. They want to promote you or not. Okay, from a associate professor to a professor, or from a lecturer to a professor, associate professor, from assistant to associate professors. They use that to decide. Okay, maybe when you want to apply for a job, now let me tell you, not only for the academic world, but also in the industry, they are looking at papers, because this is how they judge you. What have you done in your PhD or master? Are you effective and efficient enough? They judge you by the paper, because there's no other judgment. You can tell them that I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. But what to show that you are good or not is the paper. Okay. And also to keep your job. Okay. So the scenario nowadays has become, because we do not have any other better method to measure the academic credential. So the only way that we can measure is only through publications, research paper. So now the scenario become, last time it's only published. Okay. So if you like to publish, you publish. If you don't publish, also doesn't matter. Okay. So last time it's only published. Next, publish or die. Okay. So if either publish, if you don't publish, they will show you the door is over there. Please get out. Okay. Next, they move further. Okay. Publish in high impact journals or perish. Okay. And next, okay, even so, before that, you publish, whether you like it, you publish. You don't like it, you don't have to publish. Next, if you don't publish, then please get out. Okay, publish or perish, publish or die. Okay, but publish wherever doesn't matter, as long as you publish. Now they keep evolving. Okay, publish in high impact journals or perish. And they go further from there. Now it's too much. Publish frequently in high impact journals, and maybe only you won't perish. Okay, no guarantee. See, nowadays it's very difficult to become an academic staff, right? So please show more sayang for your professors, show more sayang for your supervisors. We are not living a very easy life. Okay, it is, the life nowadays is very difficult. Okay. Okay, so basically, what constitute good science? Okay, first of all, okay, your research must be novel. Okay, must be new. The research, you don't follow any other people. Okay, must be novel, must be new, and don't resemble. Okay, you don't follow any other people. Must be mechanistic. Okay, testing of a hypothesis. Okay, so you have a purpose. You want to confirm something is true or not. Okay, so next. Okay, and it must be descriptive. Okay, so you can describe to people, okay, how this thing works, how your research works. Okay, and what is the attributes of a good journal? First of all, we decide it by impact factor And next, by the immediacy index, there's a calculations. And of course, all the researchers agrees that this impact factor and also the immediacy index, of course, is merely the mathematical model from the main publishers like Elsevier's, okay, from this actually Springer is actually better. It's actually a marketing for them, but we have no choice because we are trapped in this, we are trapped in their business. That become a business for them, become good money for them, but it has become a measurement for us. But we have no choice. We still have to follow. So in this case, you want to achieve, you want to publish in journals with better impact factor, okay? ISI impact factor is basically, what's this impact factor? Is basically a quantitative tool to evaluate a journal, okay, whether this journal, okay, is cited, okay, frequently or not, okay. This impact factor basically is measured by dividing A, okay, by the B, okay. So whether this journal, how much of journal, okay, has been cited at a given time period, okay. So this is how we measure it. That's a mathematical model to actually calculate it, okay. And of course, the higher impact journal is better, lower impact journal is not better, is not better. So that is a very straightforward measurement of the journals, okay, given to us. But in reality, actually, it's not, of course, okay. Then, but anyway, if you are just starting your journey, then I would encourage you to publish in higher impact factor journal in this case, okay. But if the university, the supervisor don't have the requirement, then probably to make your life easier, as long as you publish in a reputable journal, that's good enough, okay. And journals, there are a lot of different types of journal papers, okay. You have the original research paper. This is the majority where you do your research, you write them into the paper, okay. This is the original research paper. And also we have review articles. You read other people's journal, and then you summarize all this journal into one paper, your own paper, okay. And this is a review article. You have the letters of the short communications where you have very fast experiment. You want to publish this experiment is very important to be shared with the community, and you want to publish it fast before others publish it. So you can write a short communications or letter, okay, or case study article, okay, or maybe some meta-analysis, some theoretical or conceptual research, or some applied type, okay. So there are many types of different journals, okay, and this is the impact based on the different type of journals. Mainly, most of the time, the review paper will have higher citations over the times. So that's why many people, if you want to build your citation, if you want more people to know about you to cite your paper, it's better for you to write review papers. But the thing is, one thing bear in mind, not all the countries accept review paper as a measurement. What I know is from China, in China, people do not accept review paper as a full paper anymore nowadays. They want their researcher to do more on the original research paper. So depending on where you are, okay, if Indonesia still like the impact factor and they don't mind the review paper, actually it's good to write the review papers actually to build up your impact, to build up your citation, okay. Okay, so I think it's very close to the 5 o'clock now, but I couldn't finish because there are actually 100 over slides, as you can see here, 116 slides. So I still have probably another 60 slides, which I cannot be able to go through within 1 hour. So in this case, I think I would like to end my session here and let you guys ask questions first. You have 5 minutes to ask questions because our session is until 5 o'clock, if not mistaken. Would you like to ask some question?
Okay, for everyone who want to ask a questions, please use a reaction or a raise hand. We can wait for 5 minutes.
Sure.
If there's no questions, maybe we can finish the session because Dr. Yi has simultaneously 3 lectures today. Okay,
Yes,
there's a question
this is a long day.
from Yeah, from Michael. Hello, Professor. I would like to know, based on your research journey, how many topics one could handle effectively?
Okay, it depends actually what's the resources that you have. How big is your team? Of course, if you're like my present vice chancellor, he has a very big team to manage his research. He can actually guide at the same time easily, 5, 6, 7 topic is not an issue. Okay, because he has a lot of PhD student and also he has a lot of postdoc to manage the PhD student. He has also some associate professor in his team to help him to manage the team. So at the same time, he can manage a lot of research topic. He just decide the directions and then just confirm on the directions. Then he can actually control a lot of research topics. But actually, for new researchers, for example, if you don't have a lot of research, a lot of resources, I think at the same time, it's better for you to focus on at least probably like one, maybe maximum 3 or 2 to 3 topics at one time, because you want to be more focused. At the same time, you don't want to rely only on one topic, because if that topic doesn't go anywhere, then your research also ends there. So that's why I would say that it's better to strike a balance depending on the resources that you have.
Okay, thank you for your answer. Another question from the link from the chat. Question from Sinta. I have an idea for my research, but it's not my exact expertise. I also had another idea in my field, but in my opinion, the idea is a little bit common. What should I do, or which one should I choose?
Oh, this is a very common dilemma actually faced by some early stage researchers and some students, master PhD students. Very, very common, because in early stage of your research career, you do not have much control on the research topic that you have. You're usually given a topic. So in this case, I would suggest that you try to discuss your idea. If you have a supervisor, you can discuss with your supervisor, or if you have a research team, discuss with your team leader and see whether this idea works or not. Because the idea works or not sometimes doesn't really depends on the idea itself. It also depends on the resources that you can access to. For example, if you want to start a research on identifying certain crystallography of the materials, you cannot do it without an X-ray diffraction machine, okay? Because if you are doing this research, you may need to do the XRD every day, and if you do not have the access to the machine, you cannot do this research, okay? In this case, you have to compromise, probably something more related, okay? But do not need this resource so intensively. Or otherwise, what you can do is you can also partner with other people, okay? And then, by partnering with other people, you can actually access to other resources that you don't have. So, but if you really interested, I would suggest you to try to talk to those who can make the decision, and also try to, negotiate with them, and then try to convince them that this research is really important, is really going somewhere. I can give you an example, okay? Last time I used to have this student, okay, where I asked her to, she's a girl, she was my master student. So we were focusing on the research topic more related to the porous ceramic, nanoporous ceramics. We were focusing on zeolite. But she was the one that actually doing the research. She knows that actually carbon can perform better compared to zeolite. So she proposed to me, and lucky for her, lucky for me, because I'm a more open academic staff. Okay, in academia, I consider myself more open. So I like her idea, and because she's the one that is doing this research, so I trust her judgment. And it turns out that actually carbon is better. In this case, the decision that he made actually helped our research group to get a better absorbent. Okay, same goes to you. So you need to have the capability to convince your professors, to convince your team leader that this is actually a better topic that you can focus in. So, but if your professor is someone very stubborn, then I suggest you to find some other ways to actually, convince and do what you want. Okay. Does that answer the question?
Okay. Next question is quite specific. How to make continuous and easy research for collaboration with industry involving AI and medical hospital from R&D until to making software and hardware products?
Yes, I think this is very good because this question is very good because basically this you need to know the specific needs of the industry that you're targeting. You need to know the specific needs of your target audience. Then only you start to design your research, right? So the direction is correct. But how to make easy contact with them, I would suggest you try to find who have done it before, okay? Someone who have done this before, and of course, the best interaction to get this insight is actually to approach them directly, to go and survey with your target audience. Maybe you can try to ask the hospital operators, probably the medical doctors, the hospital management, the patients, you ask them directly. In Malaysia, actually, this is more difficult because you need to get the ethics approval. But in Indonesia, I don't know, probably you have your own procedure. So if you don't have the specific procedure, you can go directly approach them. For me, usually when I design a research topic, usually I'll go to the site. For example, if I want to do a research about the oil palm resources, I'll go to the factory. Okay, I'll try to get to know them. How to get to know them? Probably through, you have to build this during your social life. Sometimes you write a letter. If you don't know them, you write an official letter asking for their permission to visit them, the schedule for a visit, interact with them, having some meeting. And sometimes through the social meetings, for example, conferences, some industry actually attend the conferences. Okay, so in this case, you can actually get to know them and ask who is actually interested in this type of research. So some people may be interested, some people may not be interested. So finding the right partner is actually also very important. Okay, so hope that answered the question.
Okay, let's back to the chat box. Some other participant asked about the PowerPoint, the model 1 and model 2. Which one is the best model for And
Okay.
in model 2, after determining the idea, then it is advisable to start writing a paper, then do research. And is there any possibility of not finding a solution? And what if that happens? It is necessary to write the paper or the certain, or it's like having a block because not finding the solution.
Yeah. So coming back to this, actually, this I don't have the time to go through this slide. So basically, these model 1 and model 2, they are not referring to the same thing. Okay, model 1 is actually a very conventional research way, where first you have the idea, okay, and then after that you do the research, get the results, get the data, get the result, and then based on the result you write the papers. This is usually more suitable for original research. But sometimes that our PhD, you want to finish your PhD earlier. And some schools, some university, they may have certain requirement on the paper publications. You need to have at least 2 to 3 papers, okay, before you can finish your PhD or master. So in this case, writing papers and publishing actually takes time. So you may not be able to finish the 2 or 3 papers within that 3 years. So in this case, you may need to consider to write your paper earlier, even before you start your research. But the problem is you do not have results, correct? You do not have the data. How are you going to write the research paper? In this case, what our suggestion is, you can write a review paper, okay? Not an original paper, but a review article. In this case, other people have already done their original research, and based on the original research that other people have done, you compile all this research, you curate all this relevant related research, put them together, and then systematically arrange their data. And then from this study, actually, because you are going to do it anyway for your literature review, and based on this systematic study on other people's result, you can get some insights where it is not drawn. The conclusion is not drawn by other researchers. In this case, this has become your result. Your research is basically on this literature based on the secondary results, secondary data from other people's. And based on this, you draw your conclusion, you draw the insights, and you can actually write a review article. And of course, this is provided if you have a very experienced supervisors in the same field. Then they can know what is the right direction, what is not the right direction. They can advise you what is the right content to write a review paper. Yeah, so basically that is my advice.
Okay, there is another question about maintaining the consistency about the idea and the research.
Well, it actually depends on the idea. Which stage is the idea of the research idea? In the early stage, okay, in the later stage, because you have done the research for so long, you know what is right, what is wrong, what can be done, what cannot be done. Then the research idea is rather consistent already. If you're continuing the direction from your previous seniors, or maybe your team members have done something, then you know already more or less. So the research idea will be very consistent. However, if the research idea is something very new that you haven't started, and there's not so much of results from other people, you cannot find it in the journal, then in this case, the idea may be keep on changing. The consistency may be difficult to be maintained. So that's why it depends on which stage are you. If you have already done this for quite a while, I think it's quite consistent already, more or less. But if you're just starting, then probably you need to face a lot of challenges. Okay, for example, when we started to do this idea of artificial kidney, developing the materials to develop the artificial kidneys, we were facing a lot of challenge because this idea is very new, and then not many people are doing this research. So when we did this research, we keep on changing what we are doing. First of all, we think that we want to target the what we call the bigger molecules, and then suddenly we think that the smaller molecule is actually easier, so we move to the smaller molecule because it's more feasible to be done, because this problem statement is actually more critical for the patients, okay, for example. But the bigger one actually is not. Initially, we think the bigger molecules is more important, but now, after asking the patients, checking with the doctors, actually the smaller molecules is more critical. So in this case, you may need to swap switch a little bit to the smaller molecules in this case. So the direction may be changed if you are at the beginning stage, okay? So probably this is answering the question. If you're not, if it doesn't, then probably you can ask more specifically.
Okay, thank you so much for your answer. I find that several people asking about how to manage if we have blocking and maybe demotivated and maybe kind of feel like lazy. It's like again for consistency, right? But you said earlier that maybe in the middle journey there is one of drop off, and
yes,
some kind of like
this is very common. That's why not everyone is getting PhD or master. So for those who are getting master and PhD, at least that's the value. The value that you show to people is actually the perseverance, okay, or maybe kesabaran, okay, that you can achieve, you can show to people, okay. Of course, along the way, there will be a lot of challenges, let me tell you, okay. Even myself, at the beginning, when I started my master, my supervisor went for a 9 months sabbatical leave, so nobody was guiding me. That's the first challenge that I was meeting. The second challenge is actually there's no chemical, because I do not have money to buy chemicals, so I cannot start my own research. So in this case, what do? So, and then, so those are the very, very big challenges. I have no one to refer to. I have no resources that I can use. So what I overcome one by one. So these are the challenges that I can share with you. First of all, when I do not have my supervisor is not there with me, I have to find a co-supervisor, temporary, to take care of me. Because when you want to use the equipment, when you want to do something, you need the co-supervisor to sign for you. Okay, so at least those are the things that I cannot do by myself. I find a co-supervisor to do for me. Okay, and of course, those things that I can do by myself, for example, reading, finding journals, then I'll just do by myself. That's easy part. Okay, so lazy sometimes is not an excuse. Lazy sometimes you really cannot use that as an excuse, because you already have everything. Then you have no excuse to be lazy. Okay, and then that time I don't have the money. So what I do? Okay, so I try to scour through the whole schools and see, are there any chemicals that people are not using anymore? Okay, so I took risk on using the expired chemical as well. Okay, so I have to try and error many times to make sure the chemicals are used, can be used. Okay, and then I've tried and error. Okay, and took the risk, and it wasted a lot of time, but I have no choice because I don't have the resources. So I have to take that approach. Okay, and then I also at the same time, chemicals part settled already, because I get the other chemicals from other people which people don't want. Okay, so it's basically like macam pengemis, in Malay we call it pengemis. I have to beg from people, hey, is there any chemicals that you're not using, and then but I don't have the money to do the testing for my materials, for my research. So in this case, I developed my own research proposal, apply for the research funding, for the grant, okay, from whatever I can. Okay, so that's why during that time, I was the first student in my school, okay, in the university, to actually getting a grant to support my own research. So that's why sometimes you face a challenge, and then if you face the challenge, you overcome the challenge, it will become your achievement that some days you'll be proud of. So that's why this is something that I think probably a challenge could also be an opportunity for you to grow yourself. So, and also the motivation, I think back then, I didn't have a choice. Okay, back then we have to do it because once I don't want to waste my time. I've already started to enroll into the master, into the PhD. Then I have to finish the journey. Okay, for example, I went to Japan already. Okay, using the scholarship given to us. Okay, and my supervisor that time I wanted to go back to Malaysia. My supervisor told me that if you go back to go back not for very long, just 1-2 weeks, I want to go back to Malaysia to see my parents, because that time there was a tsunami, 2004. I worry a bit what might happen. I call back and then make sure they're okay. And then that time I wanted to go back to see my family. My supervisor told me, if you go back to Malaysia, I cannot guarantee you can graduate within 3 years. And then because of that statement, I didn't go back to Malaysia for 3 years. I stayed in Japan for 3 years to finish my research, to finish my PhD. So you see, that type is actually sometimes we feel that we are lacking of motivation. We are lacking of motivation is because we have the luxury to be manja, very manja, or can I be doing like a bit slower, because you have the luxury. I'm not saying that it's not good. I'm saying that it's just like it's like bahagia, very bahagia, your situation compared to me. I didn't have a choice. I have to do it, okay, with whatever resources that I have. But of course, taking that, as a blessing, now you realize that is going to happen is also good, where you can try to motivate yourself with your fellow friends. If you're doing it alone, I tell you, it's going to be a very lonely journey. Okay, but if you have friends doing it together, you can motivate each other. So try to find some friends, try to make some friends within the same community. That's why you see we have a lot of conferences, because research sometimes could be a lonely journey if you don't have friends to do it together. So finding friends is actually can help you to overcome this type of, unmotivated situation. Lazy also. Sometimes if you see your friends from UK, from Japan, they publish the paper, and when they ask you, especially, hey, lately I didn't see you publishing, what are you going to think? That will motivate you. Okay, if your fellow friends, like your master friends, say, hey, I published a paper already, what about you? Have you published lately? They don't really want to hurt you, but actually it's just like more showing a concern. Okay, so in this case, maybe you can take it as a challenge together with your friend. Then you'll find that the journey is not lonely anymore. You're progressing together with other people. Okay, so I hope that could help you. Okay, any other question?
Okay, talk about supervisor. So some
How about supervisor?
some participant asked
Uh-huh.
about tips how to choose supervisor or professor. So there are two options. If one professors have to focus topic, or the other professor have too many publication but not really focus. So which one we should choose?
So it's actually very hard to tell. Depends on you yourself as a person. Which type of professor do you like most? Okay. For example, some people who want to achieve more, then it's better for you to choose the professors with more publication, because he is going to push you for publications. Some people probably would like a more relaxed life. So you probably could choose a professor where can go a bit more relaxed, but at the same time you learn something. Some people would choose some professor who is the expert in the field. You don't care whether he is very garang or he's very pushy or whatever. As long as he's an expert in that field, then you choose him based on his field. So some people choose the professor based on the professor's character. Some people choose based on the expertise. Some people choose based on the resources, because you know that to do your research, you need the scholarship. Without the scholarship, your family won't allow you to do the research. In this case, you need the scholarship. So some people choose based on that. So it's actually very hard to tell. That depends on individual's target. What do you want out of your whole research journey, out of your whole research career? So what do you want? Some people is more career oriented. So you may find some professor which may not be able to give you a lot of guidance, but he has a lot of connections to actually help you to get a job, to help you to get the desired job, what job you want. Yeah. Yeah. So basically, I think that's
Okay, so in the spirit of conclusion, PST is based on our strengths, our
yeah.
motivated, because it's
Yeah.
actually it's up to us, the
Yes.
research, the professor, the supervisor, and up to us. You would like to finish the journey by 5 years
Yeah.
or 10 years. It's like that.
Yeah. Yeah. If you do only 2 to 3 hours a day, then probably you are going to finish in 10 years.
Yeah. Okay, it's a wrap for question and answer session, because in Surabaya, time is 17 past 15 or 16. So maybe we could back to MC, Mbak Vivi.
Yeah,
Thank you.
okay.
Thank you, Santi.
Thank you.
And
Thank you
thank you
very
so
much.
much, Dr. Yo, for the discussion section.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for Associate Professor Dr. Rio Fei for the inspiring lecture today. And thank you for Ms. Santi for conducting this amazing session. Please give applause for our inspiring speaker and amazing moderator by using the Zoom action features for today's empowering sessions. As a token of appreciation, I would like to present a certificate for our honorable speaker and moderator. I would like to invite the host to share the screen. So this is the certificate for Associate
Wow.
Professor Dr. Yo Fei as our gratitude for today's session. Thank you very much for your availability today in providing the lecture session on research management skill and getting published.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, and for the next certificate will be presented for Ms. Santi Frestikauli, STMT. Thank you for being our moderator today.
Thank you so much, Mbak Titi.
And before we end today's session, allow me to inform you again about this collaboration event. So this is a joint workshop for global engineers in Asia that will be held on 2 until 4 August 2023 at ITS Surabaya. Please register yourself by submit your abstract before 16 June 2023. And for further information, please contact Ms. Nastiti or Mr. Dio from International Office. Now we would like to invite you all participants along with the speaker and moderator to take a group photo. Please turn on your camera and we will stop sharing. Okay.
Thank you everyone for your attention. I hope the session will help you in some way. And I wish you the best journey in your research life, research career.
Thank you, Mr. Feo.
Thank you, Mr. View.
Thank you.
Okay, for a
Thank you.
participant who
Thank you,
do not
Mr. Feo.
Thank you,
take
Mr.
part
Yo.
in okay, for participants who do not take part in one session and still want to get a certificate, please register to additional asynchronous session provided in the Zoom chat. And I would like to remind all of you to fill the feedback form provided in the Zoom chat. And once again, thank you everyone for joining the session. Thank you, the speaker, and for the moderator for the inspiring session. Good evening and bye-bye.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so
Bye-bye.
much. Wish you all
Bye-bye.
good health.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hatur suwun.